All right. Well, hello, and welcome everyone to our BG5 Live. Great to have you all here with us. And today is December 15th. This is 2020. This is episode number 83. And today we're going to take a look at trait 11. We're going to take a look at trait 11 in quality 2. So we're going to take a look at the rigor of ideas to avoid stagnation. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So before we jump in and get started, let's say hello to our amazing panel. Let's start with Rob. Hey, Rob, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And congratulations. Rob is now an official OC16 certified professional. So congratulations, Rob.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
No, it's awesome. It's good stuff.
Yeah, just finished his certification today. So yay. And it became official. Yay. Congratulations. And let's go to Natalie. Hey, Natalie, welcome.
Yay. Happy to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Great. Thank you, Natalie. Welcome, welcome. And let's go to Chris.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Congratulations, Rob.
Great to have you, Chris. Welcome. And Anna. Welcome, Anna.
Hi, glad to be here. Hello to everyone.
Great to have you here. All right. Well, again, welcome to each and every one of you who is live here in our Zoom room, and welcome to all of you and us that are watching via Facebook Live, and all of you that are watching via the recording as well. So we would love to get your comments as we go through. And let's get everything kicked off. So again, what we're taking a look at today is we're going to take a look at trait 11 in quality 2. So we're going to take a look at the rigor of ideas to avoid stagnation. So once again, just kind of seeing where we are and where we're going. So we're now in the middle of December, and remember, December has this theme of sharing transformation. So again, we're going to be sharing the stories of transformation here in the 11. So we first took a look at focus, right? The energy of details. We took a look at fixed patterns, the fundamental attunement to the natural rhythms. We took a look at sales and marketing, the natural salesperson. So we took a look at those, and now we are in ideas. So ideas are the stimulation for reflection. Once again, it is collective, and it's sharing the collective, abstract, experiential stories is what we're going to be talking about today. As we continue, next week, we're going to be taking a look at the behavior of self in the 10. So love and the love of self awakens in the individual. That's the winter solstice is on the 21st. That's when it moves into the 10. And also on Christmas, it is in the 58, which is joyous vitality. So you can see, again, today, what's very interesting with the 11, if you take a look at what's on the other side of the 11, what really grounds the 11 is the 12. And the 12, we talked about the 12 a while ago, which is also the mutating of the tribe. It's the one strength and the one trait in the individual circuitry that's really here to mutate or change the collective. So we change or mutate the collective, if you will, by telling stories. So we're going to take a look at that telling stories in the 11, that stimulation that leads to the storytelling on the other side when we take a look at the 56. So what is trait 11 all about? It is about ideas. So ideas are stimulation for reflection. So if you have this particular trait in your design, I have this twice in my design, you are someone who is filled with ideas and concepts and possibilities that you conceptualize and ultimately share and stimulate others with. The key is waiting for the right timing. So it's the right timing to be able to share your ideas, which becomes so important. And you need peaceful, quiet moments of assessment to sort out what you remember from the ups and downs of your experience. Remember, this is connected to the experiential way, it's connected to the abstract experience, which is all connected to emotional intelligence. So again, there is, recognizing the ups and downs of our experience, the ups and downs of the human experiential way, the ups and downs, right, of the emotional wave. And this is one who seeks stimulation. And this is ideas that are captured over time. Again, with the abstract circuitry, remember the abstract circuitry is connected to emotional intelligence, as we mentioned earlier, but it really is something that happens over time. A story happens over time. This is not instant in the moment. This is gathering information, gathering ideas, and expressing them over time. So I would love to discuss with our panel and just open it up to one, how you may be experiencing these ideas currently, or two, anything else that you've had experience with this trait 11 and ideas. So who'd like to start us off today? No ideas.
We are also shy today, right? Perfect.
Right. It's quality too. So one of the things that Natalie just brought up is that oftentimes, when we have sort of a quality 2 day, it can be that time, we see this peaceful and quiet moments of assessment and sorting out what you remember, right? So the 2 can also be the hermit, right? It's the natural, it's kind of spending time alone, right? So so everyone might be a little quiet today as well.
Well, I
So
was gonna say I'll start.
yeah, thanks, Anna. Thanks for initiating us
Right.
as the innovator.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Usually my mind is going a million miles an hour. I think about all kinds of stuff, and today it's quiet. I've been doing, I've been speaking with people, but kind of doing more casual things. So I noticed that more quiet. But in my professional world, I was a psychotherapist for decades, and I would notice I don't have trait 11 or 56, but I would notice people, different types of people, but some people really needed to tell the story over and over and over, and the story would get different as we progressed through different phases. But the story only matters when you give it a little space in between, in that reflective space, either in between sessions or something, or even in a session, just reflecting, just considering, giving it space for the possibilities to occur to you. I just thought that was, in all my years of doing that, the 11 really stands out. Some people need to speak everything, and then it becomes embodied.
Yeah, really nice perspective. Yeah, thank you, Anna. How about for you, Chris?
Yeah, I have the 56 on the other side of it, and it's interesting because I guess I don't know. It's funny because I feel like in many ways I already the ideas come in and then I just tell them. I just tell the story. But I guess if I think about my clients who have the 11, but they don't have the 56, what I find is that when I'm talking with them, they have all these ideas, and then my voice, like I lend that voice, the speaking of it, and then so they'll drop an idea in, and then I'll take it to the next level, and then they'll take it, and then it's this really cool, like back and forth, where we get to play and grow. So the idea grows, And I just noticed that, especially when somebody has the 11 and not the 56. And if I'm just reflecting on a couple of my clients that happens with. But as far as, just really being able to tap into ideas and the experience of ideas, and that emotional experience, one of the things that I am noticing today is that I am having a harder time concentrating. So even while I was teaching class today, or just like 30, not even whatever, 10 seconds ago, I noticed that things drop in and they're distracting to me. Like I'm very distracted because I have an open conceptualization as well. So it's almost like little ideas are coming in. I'm like, geez, like batting them away like a fly or something. And I can feel them like almost hitting in my brain, and I don't know what to do with them. So I just had that, literally just had that happen. And so I'm noticing that. So
Wow.
be curious if anybody else is experiencing something like that.
Yeah, that's really fascinating, Chris.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Well, I do have the 11, but I don't have the 56.
Right.
And sometimes I get overwhelmed by ideas. I have ideas all the time. ideas, and want to do this. Natalie can attest to that, right, Natalie?
And then in combination with having a big vision, so it's splendid, your idea box.
See, that's a really nice little interplay there, because just witnessing, let's say, or hearing a lot of your ideas and then seeing them come to form over a period of years, it's ideas are free floating, but to take one, actually reflect on it, do something with it, bring it in, it needs somebody like Natalie with details and all that. But that's ideas per se don't require action. They just are floating around. But if it's a great idea or something you have energy to pursue, it still takes time and space to bring it to some form of achievement or fulfillment or whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's a really great point too, right? Because it's mental, right? It comes from conceptualization. It's not about taking action. It is all of these ideas, it is these stories, but it's not something to act upon. And that's why timing is utmost important as well. It's one of the projected strengths, meaning that it needs to be recognized and invited to really work correctly. Yeah, thank you for that, Anna. And how about for you, Rob?
Well, so I don't possess the 11. I do, like Chris, have the 56 on the other side. And it is interesting. Lately, I've been feeling this concept of ideas, but it's been coming in more of like, I should have an idea because others have ideas. And if you were to look at my design, you'd see that I'm largely logical. So the abstract can be quite difficult for me because I look at things and I'm like, well, if A plus B is and I'm following this logical path. And then the other thing that I think that makes the ideas, when there's this whole concept of ideas kind of floating around my universe, is that because I have the open inspiration, I'm prone to feel like I have to act on an idea. And it can distract me, it can pull me off my track. So and that has happened quite a bit. Or it's this urge, this feel of like, because I had this idea, I have to act on it because that's what the world does, because that's what we were conditioned to do, etc. But clearly in the bullet points, it's about the timing. And everything is, yes, timing it doesn't just apply to the express builder, which is what I am, but for me as an express builder, based on my design, everything is in the now. There is truth in the now for me, right? For me, my energy has one question. What do I do with this energy right now? Right? So, and then, 5 minutes from what I just said, and another idea comes in, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta act on it. Nope, stop, nope, keeping still mountain, all this other stuff. And I'm like tripping over myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm trying too hard to apply my design here. When at the end of the day, and I run into this with everybody, right? We see this when we do an analysis, we share all this information with people, and they're like, okay. And then they want to go apply all of it because they're so excited, right? But at the end of the day, it's really about the decision-making strategy for me. So back to in the now, back to the ideas, and we look at, this being an abstract trait. It's over time. It's a continuum. It's not just right this moment. It's how does this play out? So, and again, bullet point number 2, waiting for the right timing to share your ideas. It needs to be called out.
Yeah.
So sometimes confession time. I have a black belt in kicking my own ass. So if I don't act on those ideas, I start then, and some of you might have heard this frustration from me this week, where I'm just like, not acting on idea, the whole concept of not acting on ideas, but it's over time. And this is where the abstract part becomes difficult for me because I'm logical. So not like totally honed in on this trait 11. So I appreciate everybody riding the ride with me. But that's kind of what I'm experiencing lately as the 11 meets the 56 sometimes, and as it plays into my open inspiration, and it, is dealing, what it's like as an express builder to be experiencing this holistically.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Rob. And thank you for describing that, because I think, there's other people that have those same struggles as well. And again, having one trait but not having what's on the other side, right? And the pressure that can also create.
And there's a lot of pressure in our cultures all over the world. If you have an idea, you're supposed to do something with it. And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, really good point. And yes, Natalie.
Yeah, so we have a sharing. So Joey is the birthday this week.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so it's probably tomorrow or the day after. So sharing, I'm sorry, Joey, I don't remember. Do any of you know? Is it a woman or a man? No, not a student right now. Okay, sorry. So sorry, Joey. So Joey shared, I have the 11th 3 in her conscious core essence. So over the past weekend, I found myself stopping to write down ideas in my idea book. I spent the majority of time over the weekend researching ideas. I've also had inspiration for creative projects, and today she really feels exhausted, and I'm giving my mind a break. I'm still learning to take the breaks, and that's challenging when I'm inspired. So then also, so I shared this great way to do it, right? To write it down, and she said, and then to see what unfolds, and what wants to be shared eventually. And she says, yes, definitely helps with waiting for the right timing and clarity. And actually having the full strength also Joey finds that the stories were extra inspiring to people over the last few days. And then we also have Kate, who jumped over from Facebook, and she has the trait 11 twice in her design. So Kate, hi, there you are.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, hi, Kate.
Sure.
Hi. Nice to meet everybody. Yeah, so I'm in certification. I'll be starting second semester with Natalie soon, so.
Yay.
Hi. Yes, so I shared this yesterday actually in class, that the other day I was in a meeting and we were talking about the end of the year holiday party, and my director was like, oh, Kate, I love when you're here because I always have the best ideas when you're around.
Mm.
And that like really is it. Like my ideas, yeah, they're for me, but that's really my strategy and authority. It's like the ideas are for the others. And it being in my uniqueness, oh my gosh, not being conscious of it either until, I discovered design about a year ago. And, before we were all in quarantine, I was at my dad's house gardening and he's like, oh, we need to move all this dirt, like a 4-foot pile of dirt over to this other section, grab a shovel. And I grabbed a snow shovel because I was like, this is the most effective shovel to use in this scenario. And he was all like, what? A snow shovel for dirt? I'm like, you get lower to the ground. It's got the metal thing. Like this is the right dirt moving shovel. So it is really for the other. And I don't know if you have my chart, but I have the,
Not right here.
forgetting the word, conceptualization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes. And the 43 is my core essence. So like I've got ideas always, and they do work together. If they're invited, I'm the genius. If they're not, I'm the freak. So it really does. It is really the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, or whatever the phrase is. So thank you for inviting me. I really had fun sharing and got to be a part of the conversation today.
Yeah, it's great having you, Kate. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas as well. And I love that example of, when you're around, oh, I have all of these ideas, right? And so, having that trait 11, you can also bring that to the other as well, as far as inspiring them with other ideas as well.
Mhm.
I love that, Kate.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so very much. Wow. Well, very, very cool. So, as we continue to explore these ideas, let's take it one step further and take a look at the quality of this as well. So, if we take a look at what the quality is for today, oops, I forgot to change it. It actually is quality 2. So, it actually is quality 2. That's my mistake. So, pretend that's a 2. It's quality 2, and quality 2 is rigor. It's the natural. So it's the recognition that without vigilance and risk, peace can lead to stagnation and collapse. So if we take a look at what the elevation is a sense of boredom overcome through imagination, and the imagination applied to ensuring the understanding of achieved values. If we take a look at what the challenge is, it is provoking with ideas to escape boredom, the resorting to arguments or disputes to satisfy the ego's need for action. So I would love to hear from our panel. Anything that you see, anything that you recognize, anything that comes up in taking a look at quality 2 when we take a look at that rigor. And that recognition, without vigilance and risk, peace can lead to stagnation and collapse.
Well, one thing that pops to my mind instantly, you can have a lot of ideas, but if you don't do anything, nothing will happen, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's all about timing. So, and it's interesting that it's actually, oh, we see another screen
Oh,
from you.
sorry. It's trying to fix my mistake.
Oh, okay. Well, we allow you to.
She's applying rigor to that idea.
There we go. That's better. That makes
There
me
we
feel
go.
better
Now
now.
we feel it. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, what was I about to say? So it's actually interesting that it is a second line quality, the natural, and then the natural is also hermiting and kind of holding back, but also just doing in a natural way when not even noticing that you are right. So yeah, with that, I'm not sure what vigilance means.
So vigilance is kind of really paying attention. It's kind of like, if you just kind of let things be the status quo and you get really relaxed into the way things always are and everything becomes kind of the same old, without really paying attention and without taking risk. That's where stagnation can come from, right? Kind of the boredom, same old, and in a sense, ultimately the collapse of ideas, because there is, in a sense, this rigor to always bring forth new ideas, new stories, new ways of looking at things, right? That's what ideas do, right? Ideas bring forth new, potentially new ways of doing things. Again, they're only ideas until we take action, and it's not about taking, necessarily taking action on those ideas. But again, it's in a sense, this move beyond just this sort of, boredom and stagnation through this, through imagination, a sense of boredom overcome through imagination. So again, without the vigilance, without the risk to think of something new, things, you can start to get bored, and it can be sort of the same old, same old.
I think also I love looking at that flip side of that, of the challenge, right? Where it says provoking with ideas to escape boredom. It's like sometimes the boredom is that you just have to you have to write, you have the idea and you need to do something with it. Maybe you're writing a paper, maybe you're writing a presentation, maybe it's staying with something long enough to see it through. Or again, it's just there isn't a new idea, right? So then it's resorting to arguments or disputes to satisfy the ego's need for action. I think that is so fascinating because remember, this is an idea, and like Anna just said, not all ideas lead to action. Sometimes it's just, it's to have the ideas. But this would be where people start to drop ideas in, just to drop them in there, just to light a fire, or to, or they're bored with what's happening and they're not waiting for maybe the next piece of it to come in. And so they like throw ideas out there, just throwing everything at the wall, like spaghetti at the wall, to see what will stick or what will get people fired up. And they think that they're actually moving the ball forward because of it, but it actually just derailed the whole process, because now everybody has to unpack that stupid idea that just was thrown out that really doesn't have any validity. It's just thrown out there because the person was bored and they wanted to see what would happen. I think about a meeting where it's kind of like, what do we do here? And then someone who's just sitting back like, oh, let's see what happens if I throw this idea on the table. Let's see how they bat it around, and they're just provoking. They don't have any attachment. They don't care. They just want to watch and see what everybody does. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Really great example, Chris.
Yeah.
Also with the 11, one of the parts of that is discriminating or indiscriminately, saying all the ideas or throwing them out there. And there's a kind of an in-between space. When you're bored, people want to fill up the space or have some stimulation or do something.
Exactly.
And it's all this oftentimes verbalization or wants to come out in that form. But part of the rigor is that attentiveness to discriminating. Is this useful? Is this just flooding the field here, or am I really being vigilant to some possibility here? And there's all that interplay between stimulation, filling up a space, letting the space be empty, and experiencing that process, not only just having an idea, but the process of what you do with an idea.
Yeah. And you know what? The other keynote for Trait 11 is peace. So I find it very interesting that peace goes along with these ideas, right? And that, peace can also lead to stagnation, if there's, because this is also stimulation as well, right? The ideas are, stimulating your thoughts, stimulating your ideas, stimulating, in some way to create some movement. And again, we also need this period of time for things to unfold. So yeah,
Really,
Chris.
oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it'd be really interesting to know if the guy, I can't remember his name, I should know this name, but who started TED Talks, if he has this in his conscious sun or something, or conscious core essence, because think about it, right? There's a ton of ideas out there. There's lots of ideas, and it's ideas worth spreading, ideas worth sharing,
Right.
ideas worth putting
Oh,
out there in the world. And this is that discernment of, is this, like, okay, is this an idea that's going to actually take us to a new place, or is it just a rehashing of an old idea, but in a new way,
right.
So
Oh, that would be fascinating to look at his
I
chart.
know, right? Chris something or other. I have his book. I should know all these things. I should know
Right.
because I was, did one, but I should, this is like something I coached for them. I should know what the lead name of that.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just.
Yeah, but again, they're really, really fascinating to kind of take a look and see, where it falls. I'm sure it probably has it in his design somewhere.
I'd be shocked if I didn't. I was listening to Anna and I was like, what you were just saying, Anna, just made me think about that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have something you wanted to add, Rob? No? Natalie? No? All right. Well, let's take a look at the celebrity that we have, which I find really fascinating as well. Me? No, I'm just kidding.
That was good. I like that. That was good.
That was
Very
excellent.
smooth.
That was a great idea.
It was a great idea. It was a great idea.
No, but I do have 11 in my design twice. Is actually both my past direction, the 11-1 and the 11-3. I'm probably all red now. But so one of the things with ideas for me, especially in the first part, of my life, this is also, who I see and where I be. One of the things, especially the first part of my life, I traveled everywhere. It's like any kind of idea that I could, play with, get my head around, experiment with. So it is. So those ideas are a big part of my experience. And now to the celebrity. So Beethoven, Ludwig van Beethoven, the composer, had the 11-2 as his core essence. So listen to the life theme of this core essence. So your life theme is experience. This is also known as Eden in human design. You have a philosophical orientation to educate others about the nature of experience and emotions on this plane, perhaps through music or poetry. I thought that was pretty profound, because we know Beethoven is a German composer and a pianist, and he remains one of the most admired composers in the history of Western music, and his work ranks among the most performed of the classical music repertoire. And his work spans the transition from the classical period to the Romantic era in classical music, right? So again, this focus on music, this focus on kind of that, that romance about telling the story, if you will, through music. So I thought this was a perfect example. Anything any of you would like to add?
That's just a great example. I love that. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Pretty profound.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything in our Facebook or our chat, Natalie?
No, they were laughing out loud about your famous shirt.
No,
yeah.
All right. Well, again, if you are new to BG5 and human design, we invite you, if you want to take a look as we go through each of the traits to see, do you have them? Do you not have them? You can get your own personalized chart, and you can download your personalized chart, have your chart with you as you go through the BG5 lives, and you can start to see how it may or may not affect you. Each of the traits as we discuss them. Also, you can take a look at the trait of the day by going to our website, again, bg5businessinstitute.com, and you can scroll down, find BG5 Live. You can also watch the past episodes as well. And believe it or not, I can't believe we're halfway through December. And our classes are now starting in January, and January 1st is the deadline for the early pricing. So make sure to register for the upcoming courses and check them out. We have a foundation course starting. Natalie has a certification starting. I have OC16 that's starting. So would love to have you join us. Also tomorrow, if you didn't get the newsletter, we have a mini summit that both Natalie and Banu are going to be doing tomorrow. So we'd like to invite you to that as well. And Natalie, I don't know if you'd like to say anything about the summit that's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting because so I'm going to do, I'm not sure what the exact title was, Unlocking Your Business or something, but so I'm going to share about the 4 maps, the 4 different types of maps we have. We all know our individual design, right? That's what we look at, but I'm also going to share about the other types of charts that we look at, in being with other people in your work and life, of course. And then Banu will continue on and also share about her real life experience as a leader in Microsoft in using this information. So that's really cool, continuation. And yeah, really looking forward to this, new event.
I know it should be very, very fun. Yay. Well, I hope all of you will join us, and it'll be really, really interesting. So I invite you all to join us. All right, let's wrap everything up for this week, talking about ideas and the rigor of those ideas. So what I'd love to do is just hear from each of our panel, and if there's anything else as far as comments in Facebook or in the chat, would love to hear from you as well. So what are things that people should pay attention to, be aware of over this coming week, over the next few days when it comes to ideas? Would you like to start, Rob?
Sure. I would just say, pay attention to what ideas are coming forward, but don't succumb to the pressure that either you put on yourself or other people might put on you to do something with it, because it's all about the right timing.
Yeah, really great advice, Rob. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and exactly. and you may notice how you may think that you need to do something, right? Exactly. They have to come to the pressure and take action with ideas. So just let them flow through, right? Don't as Joey was saying, write them down and see what when they want to be expressed and shared. And also, what I always like, look at the world, how many ideas are just shared in the news, in people around you. The thing that Kate shared about her manager actually saying, I'm always so happy when you are here, I have so many ideas. Like, you probably see people having ideas all of a sudden this week. So
yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Natalie. Now, how about for you, Chris?
Well, I was just thinking about the feeling that I have of, so if you have the 56 and you now, but you don't have the 11 normally, and now, and you have the conceptualization undefined, now they're defined. And what I'm finding for myself, so notice what definitions get created? This is sort of true for every time when you're looking at your chart and we talk about a trait that is activated, notice what then becomes defined in your design. And so I'm noticing that now my conceptualization is defined, my throat is defined this week, and I'm very aware. I could feel it, and I could feel a lot of pressure to speak about things that I actually don't typically talk about. And so I'm just noticing how it's like normally I can speak pretty clearly, and today I'm like, I don't know anything. So maybe I just need a vacation, but that could also be the case. But just notice that would be the thing that I would say is notice activations. Notice what it feels like in your body when these things get activated, and just pay attention. Maybe there's a story behind it, maybe there isn't. And I guess the other thing I would say, having the 56, is it's like, just notice what stories you're paying attention to in the world and what ideas you're following in the world, and just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully said, Chris. And Natalie just said that the TED Talk founder, Richard Saul-Warman, is that how you say it? Actually doesn't have the 11, but does have the other side, has trait 56 twice.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Joey was saying, pay attention to the synchronicities. Seems to bring more clarity and makes waiting fun. I love that, Joey. And Lisa says, I had an insight about Ra's name, Ra-Uru-Hu, but curious if you guys know how he got the name. Yeah, after the experience with the voice. Yeah, that's that's another story. I'll have to remind myself of that. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. Cool. And Anna.
I would just say, enjoy the ideas that come through what's already been said. You do not have to do anything with them. Just remember, you can get really mental and into your mind and make decisions from all these ideas. And in order to really ground your life, your decision-making strategy is going to be what you want to really count on. The ideas are free-flowing, but it's a different thing to act from your decision-making strategy.
Yep, exactly. And it always comes back, to your decision-making strategy. Just like what Rob was sharing earlier, as well with, having these ideas and feeling like you need to act on them. Write them down, play with them, allow that pressure to be there without having to take action yet, if it feels correct, right? And there's an idea there to take action and it is correct, right? That may be an opportunity as well. Right. Or just to share ideas, right? We can always just share those ideas that are brought out and play around with ideas. Sometimes we also take ideas so seriously that if we say an idea, we have to do something about it. That's what brainstorming sessions are all about. Just throwing out ideas, right? And just allowing those ideas to flow. So this may be a good time to do some kind of brainstorming. Just allow those ideas to flow. Allow yourself to play with those ideas and talk with others and allow them to play and have fun with the ideas as well. Yeah, and Kate is saying the right ideas will come back around when the timing is right. Yep, spot on. It was great having you join us, Kate, in the discussion as well. And thank you to our panel. Really rich discussion. Thank you, everyone who is attending in our Zoom room, and thanks to everyone who's on Facebook or listening to the recording. It has been an amazing discussion, so pay attention to those ideas, follow your decision-making strategy, and we'll see you all next week when we'll take a look at the behavior of self. We'll take a look at trait number 10. All right, everyone, have a fabulous week. See you all next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.